Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here because today we're starting something incredibly powerful for your English learning journey, our English Fluency Marathon, where you'll learn 250 phrasal verbs step by step to help you speak English more naturally, confidently, and effortlessly, just like a native speaker. Now, before we jump into all 250, I want to set the foundation. In this first part, we're going to warm up your listening and speaking muscles, get you comfortable with the rhythm of natural English, and introduce phrasal verbs that you can start using immediately in real conversations. Think of this as the stretching phase of your marathon, getting you ready for the long but exciting road ahead. First, let's talk about why phrasal verbs are so important. Native English speakers use them all the time, in daily conversations, at work, in movies, on TV, and even in casual messages. They're everywhere. But for English learners, phrasal verbs often feel confusing because they don't always follow logic. A verb like take is simple, but when you add a tiny preposition like off, up, in, out, or over, suddenly the meaning changes completely. But here's the good news. Once you start hearing them regularly and practicing them out loud, they become much easier and start to feel natural. So let's warm up with some basic phrasal verbs that relate to your everyday routine. These are very common, and using them will instantly make your English sound smoother and more native-like. Repeat them after me, and try to imagine moments in your daily life when you might use them. First up, wake up. You can say, I wake up at 7. This one is simple. You open your eyes, the day begins. But listen to the natural sound, wake up. The stress is usually on, wake. Say it with me, wake up. Try making your own sentence. I wake up early on weekdays, or, I usually wake up late on weekends. Next, get up. This is different from wake up. Wake up is when you open your eyes. Get up is when you actually leave the bed. For example, I wake up at 7, but I don't get up until 7:30. Try making your sentence. I get up as soon as my alarm rings, or, I get up slowly because I'm always tired in the morning. Now let's move on to get ready. This means to prepare yourself for the day, washing your face, brushing your teeth, getting dressed. You can say, I need 20 minutes to get ready. Say it out loud. Get ready. Try a sentence. I usually get ready very quickly, or, I get ready while listening to music. The next one is head out. This means to leave your home or wherever you are. It's a friendly, casual way to talk about going somewhere. For example, I head out for work at 8, or, I'll head out once I finish breakfast. Repeat after me. Head out. Make your own sentence. I head out early to avoid traffic. Here's another extremely common one. Check in. Now, this phrasal verb has several meanings, but the most common one is when you arrive at a hotel or an airport and officially register. Example, we check in at the hotel at 3 p.m. But it also has a conversational use, like, I'll check in with you later, meaning, I'll contact you later. Try both versions. I check in at the airport 2 hours before my flight, and, I'll check in with you after work. Let's add a few more warm-up verbs. Try saying them clearly and confidently. Turn on the lights. Turn off your phone. Pick up, can you pick up the package? Drop off, I'll drop off the kids at school. Look around, let's look around the store. Notice how each phrasal verb has a rhythm, a verb plus a preposition or adverb. When you say them together naturally, your English instantly sounds more fluent. Now, as you repeat these, don't just memorize them, visualize them. Imagine yourself waking up, getting up, heading out, turning on the coffee machine, picking up your bag, checking in at the gym. This makes learning more effective. Also, speak them out loud. Even if you're alone, even if it feels strange, say them. Speaking out loud is one of the best ways to train your mouth, your brain, and your confidence. In this marathon, you're not just learning vocabulary. You're training your instincts. You're building automatic responses. You're learning to think in English, not translate from your native language. So keep repeating after me, keep practicing, and keep imagining these verbs in your daily life. You're just getting started, but remember, every marathon begins with the first step, and you've already taken it. Great job! Great, let's keep the energy going. You've already warmed up in part 1, and now we're moving deeper into the heart of the English Fluency Marathon. In this part, we're focusing on how phrasal verbs actually live inside real conversations. Remember, native speakers don't pause to think about phrasal verbs, they just use them naturally. And with enough practice, you'll reach that point too. So let's dive in and make these verbs part of your everyday speaking toolkit. Before we begin, think about this. When native speakers talk, they depend on phrasal verbs because they're short, quick, and expressive. Instead of saying, mention, they say, bring up. Instead of, solve, they say, figure out. Instead of, take care of, they say, look after. These short little expressions help conversations flow smoothly and sound relaxed. That's exactly the feeling we're working toward. So let's explore some essential phrasal verbs you'll hear constantly in natural English. As you listen, repeat them out loud and imagine a situation where you might use each one. Let's start with bring up. This means to mention something in a conversation. For example, he brought up a really interesting idea in the meeting. Notice the sound, bring up. Try using it. I want to bring up something important. Or, don't bring up that topic again. Next is figure out. This means to solve or understand something. You might hear, I can't figure out this math problem, or, we need to figure out what to do next. Say it aloud. Figure out. Make your own sentence. I'm trying to figure out my weekend plans, or, let's figure out this issue together. Here's another everyday one. Look after. This means to take care of someone or something. For example, can you look after my dog while I'm away? Try saying, look after. Your turn. I look after my little brother after school, or, who will look after the office while the manager is gone? Now, let's talk about conversational flow. When natives speak, they often use phrasal verbs to express feelings, reactions, or decisions. These verbs add color and personality to your speech. Watch how they work in natural dialogue. Imagine this scenario. You're telling a friend about your day. You might say, I woke up late, so I had to rush out of the house. Then I ran into my neighbor, and she brought up a really funny story. I couldn't stop laughing. Later, I had to deal with a big project at work, but luckily, I figured it out before lunch. See how natural that sounds? Phrasal verbs connect ideas smoothly and keep your speaking lively. Let's work with a few more that show up all the time. Run into means to meet someone unexpectedly. Try it. I ran into an old friend at the mall. Deal with means to handle a problem or situation. Example: I have to deal with so many emails. Carry on means to continue doing something. You can say, let's carry on with the lesson. Now repeat, carry on. Your sentence: even if it's difficult, I'll carry on learning. English. Let's practice imagining conversations. Picture yourself in a casual chat with a friend. Your friend says, I'm trying to cut down on sugar. You respond, really? I need to work on that too. Cut down on means to reduce something. Work on means to improve or develop something. Say both. Cut down on, work on. Try a sentence. I want to cut down on screen time, or, I'm working on my pronunciation. Here's another very natural one. Catch up. This means to update someone after not seeing them for a while. Example: we should catch up soon. Say it out loud. Catch up. Make your own. Let's catch up this weekend. Now, let's think about why practicing out loud matters so much. When you speak these verbs, your mouth gets used to the patterns, your ears get used to the rhythm, and your brain begins recognizing them without effort. That's how fluency grows, one small piece at a time. So don't just read these verbs. Feel them, say them, and use them. Let's explore a few more that help you sound relaxed and confident. Calm down. Take a moment to calm down. Hang out. Do you want to hang out later? Sort out. I need to sort out my schedule. Point out. Let me point out the problem. Now imagine you're giving someone advice. You might say, don't stress too much. Just calm down and sort things out one by one. That's exactly how native speakers sound: smooth, friendly, supportive. In this marathon, your goal is to practice regularly and stay consistent. The more you use these verbs, the more natural they become. You'll start hearing them everywhere, in movies, songs, conversations, and soon, you'll begin using them automatically. So carry on practicing, keep speaking out loud, and don't worry if you make mistakes. Every mistake helps you grow. You're building fluency step by step, and you're doing an amazing job. Let's keep the momentum going.